Time is speeding up. Chaos is shifting into a new level, and we feel the pull to unlock the mysteries of the universe. Timeless spiritual wisdom offers the point of stability to navigate these times and to open our greatest potential. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the fun and knowledge of visionary best-selling authors Sri and Kira as they explore these mysteries and invite your higher love to come forward. And now, here are Sri and Kira.
Namaste and welcome to Explore the Mysteries. I am wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and we are welcoming you to 2021.
Yay!
Woo-hoo! We made it, and you are here right now.
Absolutely, and what a powerful year we have stepped into.
Yeah.
2021 is the year of the Phoenix.
Now feel that.
Just
the power of the Phoenix, the energy of the Phoenix rising, right?
Whoa, and that energy of taking flight from the ashes of what was.
Right?
To be able to lift through, to be able, it is an image of empowerment and clarity and purpose.
In all ways. And not only is it that, let us not forget that what is the Phoenix? The Phoenix is the, quote, mythical bird that is coming up out of the ash of what was. And if ever there was a moment of really rising up, of saying yes to our divine power, the empowerment, the internal in-lionment, it is right now, because 2021 is the year that holds so many profound keys. It is the absolute, the way I want to describe it is it's really the fulcrum point. This is that moment, and literally it's within the 12 cycles of this one year. Remember, this year also has 12 separate cycles happening that are all coming together concentrically. And that's why we can shift everything that happens from this point forward, especially beginning with 2022 and beyond, in incredible major ways that we have not ever done before. And this is why, Sri, this is the moment to come out of the woods, right? This is the moment to say, okay, I'm going to do the single most courageous thing I've ever done in my life. I'm going to come out as myself. As the divine master that I am, transcending all definitions, all sense of ego, sexuality, gender identity. Beyond all of that, I am simply self. And that which I am no longer afraid of nor hiding. That's what we call enlightenment.
Wow.
It is a wow, right?
Just take a moment. That which I am no longer afraid of.
Ooh.
And I have no need to hide it.
Wow. How does, really, as you said, wow, I was feeling all of you. Hands to heart. Notice what you're noticing as we're bringing this in, because this is a profound show. Today, we are diving deep into the lost books of the Essene. So deep that out of the 12 books that we brought through, we're focusing today specifically on a message from book 5 about what happens when you, and we're talking about you, when you, as the lion, right? That enlightenment, enlightenment, your light has called forward into the form that you are now, offering you the divine presence to come out of the woods. Yeah.
I love the word alignment, because in reality, you are an enlightened master. However, we have not aligned with, or not fully aligned with.
Aligned with, I'm going to say.
Aligned with our mastery. So the enlightenment, it really is an invitation. Bring yourselves into that alignment,
A-L-I-O-N-ment, alignment. There
That's
it is.
As we bring ourselves into that authenticity, that which you truly are, your mastery radiates through everything that you do and say, and your mastery then becomes the lion that has stepped out of the woods of doubt, fear, and hiding.
Well, and all of the other self-limiting beliefs and the paradigms and all of the groupthink attachments that would seek to keep you afraid. And so I want to step away right now. We're going to read you. This is from the Lost Books of the Essene. This is from Book 5, The Lion Leaves the Woods. And this is really a powerful insoulment. So what we're going to do is we're just going to read you this segment of the insoulment. Then we're going to go back and we're going to start unpacking all of this. So in this moment right now, why not give yourself the gift of just receiving this as it was delivered? We're just going to read it. And again, this is just a segment that we're reading, but bring your hands to your heart, bring in a deep breath, and we're just going to read it. And then we're going to come back and we're going to be unpacking this because I know you're immediately going to go, oh, yeah, wait a minute. That makes sense. That makes sense. So hands to heart, taking in a deep breath, let it out with a smile as Sri Ramka shares.
As the lion comes out of the forest for all to see, it offers two energies immediately. The energy of divine empowerment. I am safe to come out of the woods. I am safe to be seen in my power. And the energy that also says, I am here from the energy of divine empowerment, and it is my heart that I offer as the goal of your heart. Now we wish to explain this. When a lion comes out of the woods, it is a courageous act indeed, is it not? That is because for a lion to come out of its woods means it is to expose itself, to be seen. It must be in great power to do this because it knows when it comes out of the safety of its den or its home into full daylight that it is now offering itself to all of the energies that are prepared to greet it. Let's just take a breath on that for a moment.
Well, let's read the whole thing in its entirety.
Okay.
The energies that greet us each carry a different intent, do they not? There is the energy of the one who says, I will receive this gift. I will see the beauty of this gift, and I will not run away. I wish to run up and pet the lion because I can see the oneness I am with the lion. And the lion understands this energy and sits gently saying, pet me, and I shall offer you my love in return. And then there is the energy of the one who has sat in their own woods, hidden, so that when the lion comes out, they can catch it by surprise, hunt it, and take it as the prize that it is. In the hunted energy of the lion has no fear because it has known that the hunter has waited. Yeah. And so the lion does not shrink from that fear. And if, indeed, the energy of the lion is meant to become one with the hunter, then the lion transcends and understands this too. And then there are those who are afraid of the lion, who will run the other way. A lion! Oh my goodness, I must run away. The lion will eat me, it will scratch me, it will hurt me. And so the lion sits and simply watches them run without the need to chase. Without the need to chase. You see, beloved ones, you are at a great, powerful moment where the time of in-lionment is in full energetic flow. Full energetic flow. And you are either a cub or an adult. Which do you seek to be? And how do you seek to offer this gift? To understand and come out of the woods can only happen after you have prepared yourself through your own self-misunderstanding and presence, and then the release of all doubt that has held you in these many different journeys. To sit quietly at the edge of the woods, to be seen by all, is a gift of mastery, because the lion does not come out and let out a roar. The lion walks out and says, I am here, through its presence. And through great presence, you find beauty. Through great presence, you find beauty. So that's just a small segment.
A small segment of this lesson 5 of the Lost Books of the Essene. And the Lost Books of the Essene are truly a gift that has come forward. And let's take a look now at the energy and the message. But the first question that might be on some people's mind is just, who are the Essene?
And who delivered this message? And so let's take a moment and talk about that, because that's really part of the message and part of who we all are in our paradigm transcendence. Because most people are familiar with the biblical Essene, I think.
Yeah, the biblical Essene were these groups of that lived in community that are known to have worn white, and they were healers and
Mystical,
teachers.
very mystical.
Yeah, and they would often go out and attend to people, and then they would go back to their villages, in their own spiritual families for their renewal.
And they were actually known for vegetarianism. Some of the first people, they would use big, long gourds and teach people how to do enemas and how to, clean the body and become more available for holding and carrying higher frequency. And the biblical Essene were on the planet for a very, very long time. And what we learned through this series of books is that it is actually, and I want you to feel this. Bring a hand to your heart. Let's just try this. Let me have you feel this, right? So bring a hand to your heart, and I'm just going to offer you the word Essene. And just really feel that, right? Essene. And breathe. And now I'm going to offer you the energy that is the eternal presence of that which took form on this planet. And that is Essene. 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 So these books were delivered but through the cosmic Essene, which is the eternal energy that takes form that in this linear timeline called itself the Essene. And the Essene have a very broad, they were also the Magi. They have many different energies around them, because at the end of the day, it is the cosmic Essene that is the underlying presence, the energy that when it comes into form, comes in. Remember, everything here is truncated. Everything here is collapsed. So you can feel that Essene, Essene. Essene, Essene. It's like a respiration, Essene, Essene. Yeah. And so that's who was the blessing. That was where all these books came from. And sincerely, just like all of the other insoulment series that we have put out that are on our website, sriandkira.com, were all put out for this moment in history. Yeah. And I do want to take a moment to say that if you have not joined us for Monday Magic, if you enjoy this show, if you're ready to go deeper into the mysteries, if exploring the mysteries is really a passion and something that's calling to you, then why not join us live when we teach? And that teaching is offered as our world service to anyone who would wish to join us. We start our new series coming right up January 11th. And I encourage you, go to sriandkira.com, jump in, be there, join us. Every Monday night, it's a donation. You can get in for as little as $1. All your donations go to our beautiful humanitarian aid projects. This is the moment to really be diving in, and that is why this specific lesson, I think, had to be, and I really want to bow to Bria Rose. It was her suggestion that this is the lesson of this moment for this moment. And so in your New Year's resolution, in your moment of moving forward, have you included the courage to trust myself on your list of New Year's resolutions? And if not, put it right up there. Unless it's one you've already got, then let's expand that too.
We are at a beautiful time to become more fully that which we are at this beautiful time.
Right now.
Yes, and so in the worldly vocabulary, the Essene were known teachers, healers, and actually somewhat travelers in biblical times and before. Mm-hmm. The energy of the Essene, the Essene, are the cosmic masters that took birth here as an act of service.
Yeah.
And so it's important to remember that when one has reached a certain state of attainment, the greatest joy is to be in service to consciousness, to humanity as represented. And that service is a way of expanding the light and the love for the entire planet.
And in your New Year's resolutions right now, why not really say yes to embody your divine in-lionment as your enlightenment. Your in-lionment is the moment where the master oversoul of that which animates this body, that has patiently, lovingly just been hanging out, waiting for you to get done having this fun, because that's why you're here. That's actually the priority, is to come into the conscious awareness of why you are here. That is the moment of the mastery of the yoga of self-ascension. When you come into that conscious awareness as to why you are here, and the master oversoul says, oh, are we going to do this dance? And comes right in. And that's the ultimate sacred union of the soul, when we are able to fully embody the master, because we have the courage to say yes to it, because we have said yes to who we truly are. And here's the kind of, I always find it the fun, right behind that. We freak out about it. We get fear-filled about it. We self-sabotage about it. And yet, here's the fun. The minute you cross over to the other side, you wonder why you waited so long, because
Yes.
all that, you see it as the trivial thing it is. Fear is actually minutia. Fear is only of this density. It is a third dimensional experience exclusively, which is why if you are carrying a lot of fear, you are not able to live in the fifth dimension. You can only touch it. And then you'll often feel spacey and ungrounded, because your fear is pulling you out of that where your consciousness seeks to be. But your third dimensional fear, which is root chakra, right? So you have the root chakra of the physical form in fear, in complete opposition to the seventh chakra that's going, hey, I've got this. And this is why so many are having such a hard time staying grounded, because of their fear. They give power. The greatest enlightenment many have is to be enlightened with their fear. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
And this has a lot to do with they're using the experience of fear to define their identity.
Ooh, wow.
I am a fearful person. I am afraid. Well, think of that declaration. The power of I am, and then we follow it with
Afraid, right?
Whoa.
Wow.
So we're using our creative power to empower fear and to make it ever more real, to have the experience of that collapse.
Yeah.
And at some point we say enough.
Enough.
And that enough point, when we say, okay, I get it, that fear is not defining me,
Right.
then the lion is starting to come forward. I really love the metaphor so much that the lion, the empowered being, comes out of the woods. When the lion comes out of the forest, as the Essene teach us, it offers two energies.
Now, I want to stop right there. The lion is already coming out in service.
Yes.
It's not coming out seeking. Remember that. If you're seeking, you cannot be serving. And so when as the lion comes out of the forest for all to see, no judgment, no limitation. The lion is coming out for the all to see, which means that it's not, there's no judgment. It's nakedly authentic. It offers. That's a key word. It offers two energies immediately. Well, the only way you can do that, the only way you can immediately offer two energies, is because you are the energy.
Yes.
You are the energy, and the offering is you. It is the moment you say yes to the empowered being you are, the moment you let go of the self-sabotage and the fear, is the moment the true service and the law of instantaneous manifestation ignite. And so what are those? Number one, the energy of divine empowerment that says to the self, I am safe to come out of the woods. I am safe to be seen in my power. So we're going to stop right there, because that's just the first energy of the two. And what that is root chakra resolution.
It is.
All that root chakra energy has now gone straight up into the seventh. And now there is a stability, a clarity, an ability to navigate density with a clarity and an experience and a way that things come together that will blow your mind. But it does have this caveat, divine empowerment.
Absolutely. And another way to understand this is that divine empowerment is not about emotional resolution.
Breathe that in.
It's about allowing your true identity to come forward. When I say I am a divine being, What I'm saying is very simply that all of my consciousness has aligned with that divinity. Now, if fear comes up or emotional experiences come up, they are blips on the screen. They are experiences. They do not confirm my capacity and my identity. They're simply experiences. And that is a pivotal difference. When we are groomed in density, which we all begin there, don't we? When we're groomed by the energy of density, we're groomed with a fundamental separation.
That really takes away our divine empowerment and says, I am not safe.
Yep.
And that's because by being groomed with that fundamental separation and by being accepting of the energy of I am not safe, you become really pretty much inserted into the victim consciousness of density. And this is how you stay there. If you are not safe, then you are either a victim, a rescuer, or an abuser. And so it's all about density at that point. And so divine empowerment does not exist within the victim experience of density.
And the victim experience of density, the good news side of that is it may prompt you to start seeking a solution, a higher order of resolution.
And often it does, right? Yeah, often it does when it's like, okay, I know there's got to be a better way. I know this can't be all there is in my life, right?
Exactly. And so when the lion comes out of the woods, it's stepping out because it's anchored or in-lioned with its empowerment.
Right.
And this fundamental statement, I am safe.
I am safe to come out of the woods. And I am safe to be seen in my power. Breathe that one in.
I am safe. I am safe to be seen. And
in my power.
In my power. Which also means I feel comfortable with my power.
Right. I don't doubt my power.
No, I don't intimidate myself. You know, there is this piece about the inner and the outer and the mirror effect, you know.
I love it. I love it.
Just because you think everybody out there accepts you, if you still feel uncomfortable with yourself, you haven't fully acclaimed your true empowerment.
Exactly. You know, if you still are concerned about what other people are thinking about you, then you're not empowered. You're still dependent upon that. You know, I often giggle with Sri when we get, a couple of the hate mails or, we're the devil incarnate or whatever. And I kind of smile at that and go, if we're nakedly authentic enough that we're pushing some buttons, then I know we're doing it right. Because what we say, what we share is consistent. It has been consistent for going into our 19th year. And why is that? Because in naked authenticity, the truth is the truth, and you do not hide from it, shirk from it, or run away from it if you are greeted by that which does not want to approve of it or be around it. We are each given the blessing of our free will and of our individual, right? Inside the individual that invites us all to follow the journey that will eventually bring us all home. Archangel Zodkill 101. Everybody is on the journey that's going to bring them home. So you can't mess this up. That's the first thing. You just need to remember that. Anytime you think you're messing it up, that's just self-sabotage. That's just density saying, hey, guess what? Let me try and get you to stop evolving. Let's keep you in this, spiral, this lateral spin for a few more turns. And then when you get safe, that's that first energy, right? So as the lion came out of the woods, there were two energies. It was offering immediately, which means they are already here. And so it was this, I am safe, I am in my divine empowerment. And then here's the second one. The energy that also says, I am here, from the energy of divine empowerment. And it is my heart that I offer as the goal of your heart. This is the high ascended foundation that cannot anchor unless the root chakra of the body has entered that moment of safety. Until the root chakra can feel safe, you can never stabilize your heart as the root chakra of the 12-pointed ascended divine galactic blueprint. So the only way you can do this is with these two things. And here's where they go on to say, and we wish to explain this, when a lion comes out of the woods, which means You are coming out in that divine empowerment. I am safe. My root chakra is healed. Thereby, instead of my first 3 chakras basically being safety, sex, power, they're now peace, love, joy, meaning that my heart has stabilized, my presence has ignited, and therefore I am the unified presence of the yoga of self-ascension. I am the ascended mastery presence at all times. And so what they're saying is that when this happens, this is a courageous act, because to come out means that you're literally self-exposing, right? You're coming out. And they're saying that the reason this is so powerful is because you know it. As a lion, you're not coming out ignorant. You cannot come out ignorant if you are a lion. You cannot step out of the den into the woods unless you know exactly what you're moving into, and that you are aware of it, and that you are absolutely the master of that moment. Thereby, your presence calls in that goal of the heart. And I love how they say this, that the lion must be in great power to do this, because it knows when it comes out of the safety of its den or home into full daylight, it is now offering itself, right? It's all about the service. It is now offering itself to all of the energies. And here's the final piece of that one sentence: that are prepared to greet it. You literally cannot live among or be among lions if you have not prepared to be with them.
Yeah, and the metaphor of the Essene is so rich with application in your life. You know, and one of the first things that comes forward for me is the recognition that sometimes we practice a little. Sometimes we are feeling that alignment, that sense of empowerment, and we step out. And then we're going to talk more about these energies that can greet you, but the energies that can greet you can indeed, if you're not fully anchored in your empowerment, be a little bit intimidating, a little bit confrontive.
A lot of it. And if you are not prepared to be among a lion or with a lion, and you will have all types of experiences, and most likely always project them back onto the lion. And the lion knows this too. So the lion, I love that. I have to go down the bottom here because I love that. Down at the bottom right here where the lion says, yeah. And so the lion will sit and simply watch you run, right? Or watch you run in circles or watch you self-sabotage. And the lion is just going to be there going, okay, I understand, without the need to chase. Without the need to chase. So important they said it twice. And I think that's important to pay attention to right here, because another way you know that you are in the moment of enlightenment is that when those around you are collapsing or unable to tolerate who you are or projecting, because remember, you're going to have the 3, and that's one of the groups. There's also the 2 other groups that can hardly wait for you to come out, right? But when that happens, and sometimes it's very, very, let's use the word challenging, because frequently it begins with people you thought were your really good friends, people that might be in your family. You could be in the middle of a massive partnership change due to this if you really say yes to you. Yeah. That's okay. The key is without the need to chase or explain. That's the moment, is that a lion will simply be in their power. Now, the lion will not collapse and the lion will not run away. But the lion will simply be who they are, be in their power without the need to chase or explain. And that's really important.
And one of the ways you know that you've arrived there is you feel at peace with yourself.
Exactly. You can look in that mirror.
You can look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the training wheels for heading that way are a little bit like sometimes when we discover something, whether it's a training or something you've read and you get inspired by it, and you run and you say, I feel inspired by this, which means you're starting to activate your empowerment, yeah? And you present it to other beings and they shrink away. Oftentimes, the first reaction of a baby lion is, well, I need to convince them. I need to run after them and say, no, no, no.
Right. These are new lions in the making are just like, but mommy, I really like that person. Can't I go tell them why? Or this is very common, especially in the more of the fourth dimensional spiritual activism, where you feel obligated to tell them what you see around them. You feel obligated to tell them why you think they're making a mistake, or you feel obligated to give them your version of whatever. That is not in-lionment. In-lionment has no need to explain itself. In-lionment is.
And that sense of being at peace with your power is a beautiful feedback as you witness others that are responding to something other than that, their emotionality, their reactivity, their judgments, whatever it might be, that you say, okay, allow them to do what they need to do while I hold presence right here in the temple of my own being.
So I'm going to invite you to hold presence in the temple of your own being right now. And we're going to be back in just a couple minutes. And we have so much more to share on Unravel. And I know you're as fascinated as we are in this 2021 Year of the Phoenix, as we are in what we're going to talk about in the next segment, what we are calling the year of this lion dragon. And so imagine the lion and the dragon as one energy. And we're going to come back and talk about that.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
And now, here are Sri and Kira.
Welcome back. We're delighted to be with you.
Right now. And we are here exploring the mysteries today of this incredible year of 2021, the year of the Phoenix that is so profound. It actually holds a precious key and the ability for each of us to claim the power that will actually shift the trajectory of 2022 and beyond in a beautiful, harmonious way. And this is the year, if there was ever a moment to step out of the woods of your own self-sabotage and hiding and lack of manifest power, it's right now in this moment. And in the first half of the show, Sri and I challenged you and said, hey, in that New Year's resolution list, have you put right up at the top the courage to be myself, the courage to say yes to me and to embody my divine in-lionment.
Wow, I love it because,
me too.
I can remember so many years where I made my resolutions, meaning they were actually expressions of self-judgment.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Let's take a second on that, Sri.
Because your New Year's resolutions are, for the most part, where I have this bad habit, that bad habit, or poor me, I need to make some money or move or whatever it is.
I'm flawed.
Yeah, it was all about the judgment that what is wasn't good enough.
Oh, Sri, this is so powerful.
And so, of course, there is the operational level of saying we have some challenges in our life. Let's create new strategies and do things. But then there is the ascended perspective that when you're able to look at your life and say everything is contributing to my enlightenment, my growth, my evolution.
Everything
is contributing. Then perhaps the number one thing to put on your list, and hey, you can change your list at any time.
Yes.
Is I choose to live my authenticity. I choose to live my alignment. And to be enlioned, to be empowered authentically. everything else will fall into place from that essential in-lionment.
It really, it's a courageous thing, right? We talked about this during our New Year's Eve broadcast, and if you were not a part of that, please, come over to SriKira.com and grab, come enjoy that. It's a minimal donation to see it. And what we discovered during this New Year, what we talked about is that in this year of the Phoenix, consider this, guys, last year, 2020, was this beautiful year of the dragonfly. Well, the dragonfly in and of itself had all that triple symbolism of what? Of profound shift. Not just shift, profound shift. Well, I think that happened in 2020. Yeah. We did not just shift. We shifted profoundly. And forever, right? And the second energy was what? It was visionary transformation through timeline adaptation. Now, that turned out to be even more critical than we all thought. And when that verse came out in 2020, even I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting to pay attention to. Little did we all know that we would be going through massive time compression sequences, that we would be saying goodbye to linear time as we know it, and that 8-8 Lion's Gate of 2020 turned out to be the single most profound moment of the rise of the divine feminine to start inserting a balance into what has gone out of balance. Breathe in how profound this year has been. And all of that then brings us to the moment we are in right now, which is 2021 is the mirror of 2020, which means that second energy, that one of visionary transformation, outside the box. You got to go outside the box, multidimensional presence. Visionary transformation through timeline adaptation is what prepared us for that concentric dimensionality. And let us not forget that the third energy of 2020 was the greatest awakening to self-ascension that has ever happened. That through this profound shift, through this visionary transformation, the COVID experience certainly put that into play, didn't it? Mm-hmm. More people will awaken than have ever awakened before. And we are seeing that this has happened and is going to grow. 2021 is the mirror. Only now that beautiful dragonfly has become the phoenix that's rising out of 2020. So in 2021, there's going to be a lot of ash. This phoenix had a great big bed to birth from. And so a lot of beings are happy playing in the ash. It can bring a lot of comfort. And consider it, if you're in the ash, you're not seen. But when the phoenix rises, it's the lion. And imagine this phoenix with the head of a lion and the body of a dragon. That's the energy. This, and I'm still working on trying to create it. I'm working on the graphic, guys. But this is literally this phoenix is the head of a lion and the winged body of the dragon. It is the lion dragon. It is the in-lionment of our power. And of course it has wings because you are eternal and you are not limited, nor are you bound by the rules or the experience of density. And of course it has the lion's head because it is wise and it is filled with the clarity and that steadfast commitment, focus awareness, and complete trust in the essence of its being. And so when that all happens, that's what's in front of you right now. And this is why it's so critical to say yes to you right now. When that happens, and it's happening right now. And the good news is we're going to share it all with you, because isn't it just good to know there are these three energies that will greet you. And it's not one of these that you can hope and pray that only one will.
No, they're all there.
They're all there. It's a trinity, right? So those three energies are going to greet you. Yet, when they greet the empowered being with that anchored ascended heart living in the divine experience, the first thing we already know is that the lion never chases. But let's talk about these three energies. And so, Sri, why don't we go back to the insoulment for a minute?
Absolutely.
All right.
So I'm going to read directly the transmission that came through from the cosmic Essene. And let's just be with this. The energies that greet us, each energy carries with it a different intent, does it not? There is the energy of the one who says, I will receive this gift. I will see the beauty of this gift, and I will not run away. I wish to run up to the lion and pet the lion because I can see the oneness I am with the lion. And the lion understands this energy and sits gently, saying, pet me, and I shall offer you my love in return.
So let's just start there. This is just number one. All right, we have two more. So the number one energy is that you are greeted by the one who says, I will receive this gift. Now, let's guess who the first one is on that list. You, right? The number one energy that greets you is yourself, that says, yes, I will receive this gift. I see the beauty of my mastery and I will not run away.
Yes.
That is steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. Again, you cannot step out of the woods unless you have really done the work to arrive at that moment of divine enlightenment that says, I will receive this gift and I see the beauty of it and I will not run away. Because once you have accepted yourself, and it goes right back to those New Year's resolutions you were talking about, Sri, right? That's a resolution that's coming from your empowerment, not your self-judgment. And then when you come out of the woods, you will find others just like you that have said yes to the gift that are waiting for you to show up. And the lion understands and says, I will offer you my love in return. Because there is that instantaneous alignment. So that's the gift, right? You cannot be with those that you cannot understand. You cannot, it's like trying to talk with a drunk, you know? In the very first book of the Essenes, one of the things they talk about is, look, if you are awake and you are with the sleepy, then tuck them in and let them sleep. But trying to talk to them, they're never going to hear you. They're asleep. Yeah. Let them sleep. They can't even understand what you're saying. So why are you chasing? A lion never chases. The ego does. Yep. The ego needs the approval. The ego has to get its opinion out there. The ego has to say things. But the lion doesn't have to.
So this is such a beautiful discernment to take forward into your own consciousness, and you notice the energies that arise within you.
Yeah.
And through the noticing, we can continue to refine our choices and become ever more empowered or enlightened.
Well, and of course, every time we refine our choices, we're continuing our ascended presence cycle, right? Because the ascended presence cycle always begins with awareness, then it's the experience, and then it's that choice. So again, this is just a further affirmation of the ever-refining spiral of our enlightenment, our in-lionment. And so, should we go to number two?
The next energy.
All right, number two. And then there is the energy of the one who has sat in their own woods, hidden so that when the lion comes out, they can catch it by surprise, hunt it, and take it as the prize that it is. And in the hunted energy of the lion has no fear because the lion knows that the hunter has waited. And so the lion does not shrink from the fear. And if the energy of the lion is meant to become one with the hunter, then the lion transcends and understands this too. And this is really profound because this, to me, is very much about the thrive or dive.
Yeah, and it's also talking about some different levels of hunting.
Exactly. So let's start there.
So the first thing is that when the lion comes out, there are those that have been kind of in their own shadows, and they immediately, quote, hunt it, meaning confront it, and wish to take away the empowerment that you're stepping forward with.
They're the ones that are waiting for you to wake up to tell you why you're crazy, why you need medication. They're the ones that when you are so in your power and passion and you share it with, they do everything they can to tell you why it's wrong. Those are hunters. Because remember, the greatest weapon of the hunter in this world, in this experience, is the word. Because the words are the easiest thing to manipulate.
And so the lion does not shrink from that fear.
Right.
There is the knowing, and just even as we're talking about it, you can all go, yeah, I've seen that. There is the knowing that many in the circle of interactions that you carry will hunt your empowerment, meaning they wish to destroy it. They wish it doesn't appear.
It does, and that's because they're afraid of their own. This is what we often refer to as partners in pain. Oftentimes, hunters are partners in pain, almost always. And this is why they talk about that they've been kind of waiting, because they really don't want you to be who you are, because it threatens who they are. It scares them. And so you are not a lion if you are afraid. And if your fear overrides your choices, then you are not even in the den of the cub. You are still in the woods. Mm-hmm. And it's okay, because there's lots of beautiful things that happen in the woods. It's totally cool. And this is what I love, is that the last line here about the second energy. And if indeed the energy of the lion is meant to become one with the hunter, then the lion transcends and understands this too. Meaning, and this is where I brought in that thrive or dive. We are in the energy in early 2021 right now of this thrive or dive. Thrive or dive is very different than what Sri and I refer to as pop or drop. So here, let me give you the difference. Pop or drop is when we are breaking through density and our density limitations, when we first pop above that, or we drop back into it and aren't even aware it's there. Thrive or dive is the energy that comes from conscious awareness. It means that we have stepped into our ascended presence. It means that we are aware of everything that is happening. It means that we are having those experiences. We are looking at those choices. And it also means that there comes a point in our naked authenticity where we need to really pay attention. If your fear is ruling you, then you are ready to become one with the hunter. And as the lion, you would transcend any self-judgment about that, because you understand that this is going to be another cycle in that journey. And the gift is that you know it going in. It doesn't mean that if you blend as that if the hunter has won, because the hunter is the one that pulls you back. And remember, all of this begins with you. That hunter that's waiting in the wings are those old tapes, guys. Those are those old belief systems. Those are those really deep density programs that are going, wait a minute. You're not powerful. You don't know what you're doing. You can't trust yourself. That's the hunter. And that's the first one that comes out. Yep. And so that's why they're saying, if you are meant to be one with the hunter, meaning if that's going to win for a while, then as the lion, you also really know what you're getting yourself into, and you're ready to meet it at that level as well.
Yeah, fear-based dogma is one of those come merge with me kind of energies that
come be a victim with me.
Yeah. And create an alignment that is not aligned with your authentic empowerment.
But it is aligned with the experience of density that your soul is here to have. And so when you can really come to presence with that as the underlying conscious understanding, when you are cycling back, that's the first moment you get to actually lift above it and go, oh, I see what's happening. And that's when the lion aspect is able to lift that up. And there will come a moment where if you're conscious of it enough, and if you're not afraid of your own fear, and if you're not running away from it, where you are able to really scoop that up and become that which you truly are. And that brings us to the third one. Because the third energy is often one that sends a lot of lions into panic. All right? And there it is.
And then there are those who are afraid of the lion and who run the other way. A lion, oh my goodness, I must run away. The lion will eat me, it will scratch me, it will hurt me. And so the lion sits and simply watches them run without the need to chase,
Now breathe that in, because this is really important. This is often where you have that moment of, I thought this person would be my friend for life. Or, I'm so hurt, or I've done so much for them, with them. And so you need to remember that the lion honors them for their journey. And the lion knows that everything has played out exactly in the way it is to play out. And that in this cycle, in this moment of time, fluidity that we have all surfed into, right? In this moment, the lion knows that they must go have the rest of their journey, and is able to sincerely appreciate and thank them, because it is their clarity, frequently through polarization, that will invite you to know if you're a lion or not.
Yeah.
It is walking the walk in the face of the greatest adversity, and it will often come from the partners in pain that you may not even be aware you had, including those that you thought were pretty ascended. And that's when all the isms will show up. And this is that moment where only you can break yourself free. And I love this next line where they say, because you are at a great and powerful moment where the time of in-lionment is in full energetic flow. I mean, it's robust. You can see it everywhere. And not all the lions are compassionate, right? So you're either going to be a cub or an adult. So which do you seek to be? And then how can you offer that gift? Yeah. That's really where we're at.
And, you know, one of the things that I just want to underscore just a little further is that it is very common for a, quote, young lion to crave the community of other lions.
Oh, absolutely.
And instead of just standing in their presence and allowing themselves to be seen, and the other lions will see you.
Right.
Instead of that, they're focusing on who's running away from them, and the whole rescuer thing arises, and they seek to offer a new reason for the people not to run away.
Well,
and now we're putting forward new kind of a dogma.
Right.
We're saying, come believe what I believe and we can be together, but you're not
partners in pain.
You're back in partners in pain.
Right. And I think what's important here, Sri, you were mentioning is, so remember, when you first wake up to your lion energy, you're a cub.
Yes.
Right? You're not born a lion, you're a cub. And oftentimes when cubs come out of the woods, they forget that they still need the other lions to teach them a few things.
Yep.
And so frequently, what I'm going to call is teenage cubs begin to believe they're really at their maturity, and then they come together with full adult lions, but they don't want to hear or be with what the lion still has to offer. And this is important because that's when the fear comes in. Mm-hmm. And the fear comes back because you then want something to blame other than your own sense of being. It's just being a teenage lion. And so either one day you're going to grow up and mature and move through it, but that takes what? It takes steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. And that's a moment right now that is eroding on the planet.
Yeah.
If you are in this moment exploring this mystery with Sri and I, then we honor that in this moment you have offered us your trust to be here, to pay attention. If the yoga of self-ascension is calling to your heart, then visit SriAnnKira.com. Learn more about it. Join us every Monday night for Monday Magic, beginning again January 11th, when we actually are going to be teaching how you can live an ascended life right now.
Absolutely.
And this is really important, and I want to go right here, Sri, because it's fabulous. And this is, again, in the final piece of the insoulment. To understand, and by the way, code for that, this is what we teach Monday nights. The word understand is code for left brain relaxing. To understand and come out of the woods can only happen, this isn't saying could happen, will happen, can only happen after you have prepared yourself through your own self-misunderstanding and presence and release of all doubt that has held you in many different journeys. And Sri, I think we have to unpack that.
Yeah, because when you just be with that for a moment. Self-misunderstanding.
That's it.
Self-misunderstanding is not even recognized until we have the discernment.
So become aware.
The discernment arises when we have lifted out of the engagement of the level of consciousness that would keep us in the woods.
Bingo.
So there is a little paradoxical happening here. We, through self-love, through trust of the divine, we begin to lift out of the friction and the Velcro of the density realities, and we begin to see that we have been allowing doubt and other energies to hold us.
Well, you know, I love their wording here because they talk about you have prepared yourself through the presence and release of all doubt. Mm-hmm. Meaning you had to have the presence of doubt to be able to release it. And they're saying that has held you in many different journeys.
Yes.
We, not only in this one lifetime have you had, my goodness, how many journeys have you had in this lifetime? How many lives have you had in this lifetime? I think I've given up counting. And so, but I love the way they talk about this as both presence and release of doubt.
Yes.
That it is what? The awareness. This whole paragraph right here, I'm going to read it again. It's really saying you got to get to a level of awareness, and here's how you do it. So I'm just going to read it. To understand and come out of the woods can only happen after you have prepared yourself through your own self-misunderstanding and presence and release of all doubt that has held you in many different journeys. Doubt's the glue that keeps you stuck. Doubt's the glue that keeps you stuck, and fear is the gasoline for the engine. It really is.
It's true. It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
And it's insidious. All beings have to work through this.
All beings. And I love this because, and I want to share this as we get close to the end of the show today, to sit quietly at the edge of the woods to be seen by all is a gift of mastery. And this is your pre-coming out moment. And this is where many are. You're sitting on the edge. You can be seen, but you're not out in the middle where all the lions are in the middle. So imagine that there's a circular forest, right? And in the middle of this forest, there's this huge meadow. And it's so big that as you're sitting on, with your back against a tree and your legs are out in the meadow, but your back's up against the tree, and you're gazing at all the lions and you're seeing the beauty of the meadow and you're loving it and it's all there, but your back is still against the tree. And this is what they're saying is that, yes, just to get there is a gift of mastery. And this is where most people stop. And this is where most people get frustrated because their feet get sunburned while the rest of them isn't, and they don't know how to resolve the two. And I'm using this very metaphorically, right? You got the image. You're sitting with your back against a tree. Your feet are out in the light of the meadow, but you're still in. You're half in and half out, right? The lion walks out and declares, "I am here." And that declaration is not done with words. It's done through presence. You become the walking illumination of the master. You walk into a room and people notice. You walk in anywhere and you don't have to say a word. People come to you. People start asking. The law of instantaneous manifestation flows through you because you are that. And remember that through great presence is where you will find the beauty. And that is the beauty of the divine union. The sacred yoga of self-ascension is that divine union of the body of this co-creative form with the full presence of the mastery spirit in full awakened multidimensional consciousness while still carrying a body. That is the beauty. And that is yours the minute you say yes to your presence.
Taking a breath, and let's just say yes right now.
Yes.
Yes.
2021, I am the lion dragon as the phoenix rising, and it is your moment. Get to SriandKira.com. Join us every Monday night. Check out everything else that's going on, and know that you're ready for this.
We love you.
Thank you for joining us at Sri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@SriandKiraRadio.com and check out more information at SriandKira.com. See you next week. Namaste.